Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Propaganda with Mick and Jacob. Once again, we have another sad story today that kind of proves just how dangerous illegals are, the impact they've had on this country, and then overall just the problem we face as a country that we just refuse to protect our own. We refuse to take our own side. We refuse to have actual law enforcement and punishments set in place for people that break the law. And especially for people that their first act in our country is breaking the law by crossing the border illegally or entering the country illegally. So another story, this is out of North Carolina, just this last week. Fletcher Harris and his girlfriend, Skylar Provenza, were killed by an illegal in North Carolina. It was in a head-on car crash. And the illegal, Juan Aguilar, was drunk driving. So this is a Friday. He was drunk driving, absolutely barrels into their car and kills both of them in the car crash. Okay, turns out he's an illegal here. Shouldn't be here in the first place, right? This is what we hear about. These are just everyday citizens like you and I. They have nothing wrong. There's no criminal record, And when in reality, he broke the law to enter the country and then kills 2 American citizens because he's drunk driving. So it's like, how do we have we have constant examples. You have rape, you have murder, you have kidnapping, you have car crashes, you have all these things that happen from illegals. They would not happen if the illegals were not here. And we've made this point before. I say this all the time. Those same things might happen. They might be off chances. They might be other citizens. They might be other circumstances where they happen. That's true. But it would never happen in that scenario by that illegal if the illegal was not here. They broke our law to come here. They were allowed to stay here under the Biden administration. They are now trying to be pushed out and removed forcibly by ICE and by the Trump administration. The problem is we have a lot of liberal cities. And North Carolina is not even one of the liberal states here we're talking about. It's primarily Minneapolis. It's primarily LA, a few liberal cities in Texas. We have all these cities that they have a problem with protecting these people, defending these people. They have the woke mind virus that we talked about. They refuse to actually let the ICE officers in the federal government do their job and deport these illegals. And it's almost sad at this point because the story, it just sounds like you've heard it a million times. Like we've all heard the illegal does this and he hurts these people or he kills these people or this person, but it's actually the reality. And when it's sad to see the old abuela getting taken captive or the little 5-year-old being detained by ICE or whatever, like when those things are sad, you also have what else is sad is an illegal person that's not supposed to be here in the first place, killing American citizens in a drunk driving car accident. Like
that's crazy. I hadn't heard about that. The drunk driving accident. All I've heard all week is the 5-year-old being detained by ICE.
Yeah,
which wasn't even true in the first place. I mean,
so Juan Aguilar, whatever, he had a previous DUI and he failed to appear in court and was driving on a suspended license. A suspended license. How did he get a license in the first place? Isn't that interesting? And isn't it interesting that there's so many illegals here that have licenses? Which in a lot of states,
that's crazy.
A lot of states, voter ID isn't even required, but many more states, it's just your driver's license. So how are they getting driver's license if they're not here legally in the first place? So this guy shouldn't have been on the roads. He had a DUI. He failed to appear in court. Where was the warrant for his arrest? Where were the police? Why was ICE not going after him already? And instead, he gets let off. He's driving around drunk and gets in a car accident and kills 2 college students. It's just it's a sad story. It's a terrible story.
These people are not your stand-up people. Like that's the crazy part. Everyone's saying that they're trying to protect their neighbor by going out on these crazy protests and they're protecting their neighbors from these evil. But the people that they're defending are men like him. They're not stand-up guys. They're not here to make a better life for themselves. They're not even here to better the neighborhood they're trying to stay in. That's protecting your neighborhood, making sure people like him don't have the chance to drunk drive and kill your neighbor.
In the Trump administration, ICE, like they've been very open that they're not just grabbing everyone they can. They're specifically going after, especially in the early part of this administration, they're specifically going after the most violent and dangerous criminals. And they should be, that's true. They should also be going after regular, everyday illegals, right? But they're not even doing that yet. And the fact that the left-wing media, the left-wing cities, the crazy blue-haired lesbian trannies are freaking out about all this, which it's just crazy. Like I know we say this, but it's crazy that they're all on the same page. It's all the BLM, the LGBTQ, the No Kings,
and they're
the
somehow
ICE,
always wrong.
You know, they're always on the same team too, and it's always in these cities, and the cities are always a mess. The cities are always burning down during BLM. Now there's like a huge civil war going on in Minneapolis right now with the National Guard and ICE, and a huge standoff between Antifa forces are activated there, and then just the regular everyday crazy citizens. Like, it's just funny how it's always those cities. But we had another real world example where a evil person who should not have been here in the first place killed 2 people in a car accident, in a drunk driving accident, you know? Like, but they just want to pretend like, oh, they're going into schools and rounding up 5-year-olds and shipping them all off on a bus. It's like, no, they're usually going after the most dangerous, most law-breaking, like, in-your-face criminals. And anyone else who steps in the way, they should also go as well. But it's like, right, they have no respect. They have no respect for our laws or our customs or our culture. And it's, I don't know. It kind of shows the hypocrisy of the whole thing, where it's like, oh, they're going after this guy because he's a rapist and a killer and a murderer. And then it's like, yeah, you have people like Renee Good and other crazy Minneapolis people standing in the way, protecting, like, and you don't want to be dramatic, but it's like they are standing in the way, protecting illegals who broke the law entering here. A lot of them are gang affiliated. A lot of them are selling drugs. A lot of them are murderers. You know, a lot of them are rapists. And it's like, not because they're Hispanic, not because they're Mexican, not because whatever, but because they broke the law illegally. And that draws in a certain type of crowd already, right? And then you have people that are in the country, undocumented, unknown, they have nothing to lose, right? They have no stake in this country at all. And they bring over their third world cultures and their third world practices with them, and they inflict it upon our culture in the US. Like, and that's how you have these problems, and that's how you have ICE descending upon a city and trying to rid it of all the illegals, and then you have all the crazy people trying to defend them. So it's like,
it's crazy the difference between Texas right now and Minnesota.
Yeah.
ICE is in Texas right now, and they're doing their job.
Right. Most of the deportations are in Texas.
Yeah.
Minneapolis makes up such a small percent of total deportations and total ICE involvement. It's not even funny. But what are we hearing about?
Minnesota.
Right.
And it's in flames. The state's Minneapolis is in flames.
Right.
And over criminals too. I don't know. Do these people just choose to ignore it? That's what I'm so confused on. Do they choose to ignore the mugshots that come out of all these rapists? You'd have to. Or do they just choose to not believe that?
I don't know. I don't know why they refuse to believe like there's actual bad people that cross the country. They assume that everyone came here seeking a better life and a better opportunity, and they want to make a living and an honest living and live the American dream. No. A lot of these people hate America. They're only here because it would better economically help them. A lot of them, with the money they have, they just send it right back home to all their family members and friends that are back home anyways. And they break the laws while they're here. They break the laws to enter the country. They don't provide any sort of, like, they don't provide a benefit. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, like, some people can be net negatives or net neutral or what. No, it's like, you should honestly provide a benefit to your culture and your community and your town and your city and your state. You should provide some sort of benefit. And I would say most citizens, most honest, hardworking, tax-paying citizens do provide a benefit. Not all of them, right? Definitely not all of them. But also they're citizens, right? When you have illegals that are here, when you have foreigners that are invading our country, they should certainly be providing some sort of benefit for us. Or why are they even here in the first place? You hear about the doctors and the lawyers and the engineers and, oh, Juan Aguila, whatever. He could have cured cancer. Okay, but he didn't. He drove head on into two other teenagers in a car. It's like we have doctors and engineers and lawyers and scientists, and we have all those great people here as well, you know?
And we also have the potential for those people too, but they are murdered before they can even get out of the womb.
It's crazy too. The left has the same argument with, you're denying all these people in our country, what could they be doing? But the left is also the same people that push abortion and push the millions and millions of babies that have been killed before they even get a chance, you know? Yeah. And it's like, again, they can't see the parallel. And then I saw this other thing the other day, right? There's the no one is illegal on stolen land, right? So that's everyone should come here. You're totally welcome because this is stolen land. Why is it stolen? Oh, because 400 years ago, right? White people landed on this continent and slowly settled it and colonized it and took over and state by state and then set up a country. And now we've been living in this country. And they stole the land from Native Americans, right? The good old Native Americans. They've been suffered. They've their land got stolen. So no one is illegal on stolen land. But also, we owe the Native Americans our land. We feel bad. We're on their land. We should give them it back. We should give it back to them. We should honor them. Why are we taking their land? But in the same breath, they want to invite as many other people as they can to also live on the Native Americans' land. And I know.
So who are we to start inviting millions of people onto land that we don't even own?
If this is already stolen, if we're already unwanted occupiers of the land, why are we inviting? Why is it our right or our duty or our obligation to invite more people on the land that's not even ours? Well, in that point, let's just invite everyone, which is what they say, because no one's illegal on stolen land. But aren't you? It's just in the same breath, you're hurting the Native Americans that are here. You're hurting them even more by taking up more of their land, by inviting more and more people that have nothing to do with their culture, right? The Native American culture, the peaceful, Zen, wise, smoke signal, like their culture. You're gonna inject their culture with more poison by inviting other people from the third world and other people that have nothing to do with this country or anything like that. So it's just crazy. Again, the double standard. Again, the hypocrisy. And we could talk about it forever, but.
And we also have no right to invade Greenland.
Right. But we can't invade Greenland because there's native Greenlanders there. And you're right. It's in the same breath that they say that as well. So it's like.
We have no right to go to Greenland and take that. Well, wait, I thought borders didn't exist.
Wait, doesn't Denmark own Greenland? Why is that okay? If there's native Greenlanders there, right? They're native people that have been there for, who knows, thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, right? You have Denmark, a Danish country, white people owning that land. That's not okay either. Ooh. We should go to war with Denmark and fight them. Shoot. Why are we saying we can't go to Greenland because there's natives there, but we're also just going to sit by and let their land be owned by a foreign country?
Evil white men.
Right. So it never makes sense, right? We can't go to Venezuela and kidnap their president because that's sovereign ground. They're their own country. They can decide their own rules, right? But we also can't go set free the natives in Greenland from their white oppressors in a country in Europe. And also everyone's welcome onto our land, even though it's not our land, it's stolen land. But we want you all here. And even though the Native Americans are getting robbed even more because now there's more people here that don't care about them at all, we still want you to come here. But also we feel bad that we took their land.
Makes so it's
sense. Yeah.
I don't know.
Circles.
It's
unbelievable.
It just goes round and round in a circle. And that's part of the problem with arguing with these people is they don't make sense. They have no logic. They half the time don't know anything about the situation. They don't have their facts right. Nothing about it they say or their arguments make sense. It's all emotional. It's all manipulation. And like we said about the Texas versus Minnesota thing, you don't have the mayor and governor of Texas saying, ICE is illegal, get off our land, get in the streets, show them they're not wanted here, get them out, you know? In fact, you have a lot of support from the Texas population, whether they're white, conservative, Christian gun-owning Americans, or whether they are legal American Hispanic immigrants that came here the right way and don't want other illegals skipping out in the line and ruining what they worked so hard to get, you know? You have a lot of support for them in Texas. But in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, you have none of that. It's a crazy left-wing hellhole. It's like Gotham. Except without the villains, it's just blue-haired, crazy liberal and lesbians running around, you know? And unfortunately, they control the streets there. Like, first off, none of these people have jobs. They organized a protest at like 2 p.m. on a Friday.
Can we talk about that?
That's crazy.
That's what blows my mind every single time I see these giant crowds of like 100, 200 people. I'm like...
No, they have thousands. In Minneapolis, they assembled like thousands of people on a 2 p.m. lunch break on Friday, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like they block the streets. They get in front of the ICE vehicles. They're in their face. They're not letting them do their job. They're throwing things at them. Did you see the video where they break into the back of an ICE vehicle and start just taking the guns and like the stuff from the supplies back from the back of the truck? It's crazy. And it's like, well, are these people going to be held accountable? No. Were they held accountable in 2020? No. Where was George Floyd murdered? In quotes. Where was he murdered?
In quotes.
In Minneapolis, correct? They said like the Renee Good shooting in the George Floyd.
It was like
the George Floyd sacrifice of our Saint Floyd. Yeah, it was like 20 minutes from each other. It's like, why does this stuff always happen in this area? Why does this stuff always get blown up in this area? Why is Minneapolis always either on fire or falling apart? You know? Why is the Somali fraud taking place miles from this as well? You know? And it's like, at a certain point, it's not all these random separate coincidences. At a certain point, it's the thinking and the manipulation and the idea and the whole like, if you want to say this, the whole vibe of the city, right? The vibe of the city is we're going to protect these illegals because we're peaceful, gay pride, all that. Everyone's welcome. No one's here on the illegal
And
stolen
they
land.
protect bad people,
Right.
and the city gets worse.
Right. And the police can't do their job. ICE can't do their job. You have the mayor and the governor going out there to support the protesters and say like, yeah, get rid of ICE, whatever, And it's like, sorry, I'm kind of rambling a lot right now.
No, that's what you have to understand.
That's what it is.
You're being emotionally manipulated by the governor and by the mayor of Minneapolis and Minnesota. You are. They're not up there on your side. Are they protesting with you? I haven't seen them protesting. No, they're just up there.
They're up there on the camera
On their
saying,
podium,
hey,
yeah.
get out there and go protest. But I haven't seen one in the street yet,
No.
Like, what are they actually doing? You know what I mean? Like, just think about it for 1 second. What are they actually doing other than riling you up to go out there
Right.
and do the dirty work? What are they actually doing?
And what are they fighting too? They're fighting the idea that someone that came across the border last year is just as American as you and they have just as much right to be here as you. That's the idea they're fighting. They're saying it doesn't matter if you came here illegally or legally or on a plane or by boat or across the border. It doesn't matter how you got here or if it's legal or not. It matters that you want to be here. In that if you want to be here, if you need to be here, if it's for your economic prosperity, if it's for your religious freedom, you have the right to be here no matter what. And it's like, no, you don't. You have to get in line. You have to wait in line. You have to do the right steps. Even then, why do you get to come here in the first place? This is our country. The people of this country voted. The majority of the people in this country voted to shut our borders down, to stop immigration, to deport the illegals. And is that not what democracy is? Is the left in their pro-democracy? This is our constitutional republic. This is
No
our
kings.
Yeah, no kings, no nothing. Half the people, more than half the people voted for this. Is that not democracy? And I'm confused why, and this is the whole part with the Minneapolis thing as well, but literally half the people voted for this one policy, and then you have some crazy people in one city that be like, no, we're not going to go for this policy. We're not going to listen to this. We're not going to follow the law. No, you don't get the choice now. Democracy is apparently what the people want, right? What the people elected, what they voted for, what they want in place. And now you have the minority, the less than 50% that didn't vote for Trump, you have all of them freaking out and saying, no, that's not how we want to live. That's not how we want to. No, like you don't have the right to stop ICE agents from taking illegals. Why? Because the illegals don't have a right to be here. They don't. They don't have a moral right. They don't have a legal right. They don't have any sort of right to be here at all. So you don't get to stand in front of the streets and take them. In fact, you don't have a legal right to stop them either because we voted for this as a country. The country goes left and it goes right. It goes blue and it goes red. And a lot of people are somewhere in the middle. But guess what? Most of the people voted for this, and this is the policies we wanted in place. So for the whole thing to be protecting democracy, for the whole thing to be, we're going to stand up for freedom of this and that, and it's like, no, like that's not how that works. What's happening? ICE arresting illegals and deporting them, that is democracy. But they're like we're saying, they're so twisted, they're so blind, unfortunately. I think a lot of them refuse to see it. They can't. They don't understand that, And it's
They still somehow think that they're on the side of no kings and
right.
democracy by.
They genuinely think that they're Nazis. Like genuinely.
Oh yeah.
They're out there blowing their whistles and they're like warning their neighbors that the are coming. Like oh my gosh. I mean, this happened
24 hours ago.
Yeah, a day ago at the time we're recording this. So there's not a lot of information out yet. So it's kind of hard to have an opinion. I've seen the videos myself and I don't know how to feel about it just yet. But there was a man that I don't even know what he was doing. He tackles some woman. They're in the streets of Minneapolis and he's a protester and he gets on this woman. I don't know if he's trying to protect her or he's attacking her. I don't know. It's not really clear, but he gets swarmed by like 5 ICE agents and they're all around him. The videos, they're not clear. No one knows what's really happening. And all of a sudden he's shot to death and he dies there on the street. So everyone's saying that ICE, once again, the narrative is always ICE just is being
Publicly
crazy and shooting people for no reason.
Right.
I don't believe that. I don't think there was no reason for them to shoot. I'm sure there was some kind of reason. Like, I don't think that ICE is this evil force that is just terrorizing people. I don't think that they always do the right thing either. I'm not saying that. There's going to be accidents, there's going to be mishaps, and there's going to be misjudgments. But I don't know. This video.
There was, for the longest time, there
know.
was one video. And now that we're in day 2, or like, I guess in the end of the first day, there's a lot more angles coming out, a lot more people recording. But for the longest time, there was just this one video, and it's really hard to tell what happened. So the video starts off with Alex, he's like grabbing a woman. Another video has shown that she was being like pushed and pepper sprayed because she was interfering on ICE agents. So then he like grabbed her to protect her. So then an ICE agent goes after him, and then they kind of get in like a little like brawling match, you know? And I think they're like kind of like wrestling, throwing each other to the ground. They get him on the ground for what feels like a while. And there's like, I think they said that there were 7 ICE agents around him.
Oh my word.
And
jeez.
What we've been told so far is that he's on the ground, they have him, and they see he has a gun, and he reaches for it, and then they say, he's got a gun, and then they shoot him. Like, they shoot like 10 rounds or something into him. So it's like, that's what we know so far, but there's a lot of unclear details in that. Did he have his hand on the gun? Did they grab his gun? There's another video angle now that's showing, oh, it looks like an ICE agent went behind him and grabbed his gun, and the gun accidentally discharged because it's a Sig Sauer P320 or whatever. And it's like, those guns are known for accidentally discharging. So it's like, did he grab the gun and then it goes off? And then the ICE agents freak out because they thought he shot. So they shoot him. And there's a lot of unclear things going on. What they do know is that he had a handgun on him. In the first reports were saying he had a handgun, 2 magazines, and no ID on him. So he had no ID. But they did say he was a lawful concealed carrier. He had a lawful concealed carry permit. So he was legally carrying the gun, which the left, I love this too. We got to talk about the switch up. The left loves that people have guns out. They're like, oh, this is Second Amendment. This is all right. Protect yourselves, get guns. I totally agree as well, right? But isn't it so funny that in every single state, especially Minnesota, in every single state, it's so hard to get guns. They try to ban them. They try to lock them up, all this stuff. But now, when the government is tyrannical, when the government is against you, supposedly, when the government's threatening you, now you want guns.
We need the
guns.
Oh,
So what is the Second Amendment for? Oh, so it's to protect yourself. Okay. That's great. I love that we agree on that now. Okay. So we'll just remember that for the future. But what is interesting is that the argument is like, no, he had his lawful concealed carry permit. He was legally carrying the gun. It's like, okay, that's great. You know what you're not legally allowed to do? You're not legally allowed to reach for, grab, or pull out your gun at federal agents when they're detaining you. That's what you're not allowed to do. And again, it's still a little unclear what was happening.
Yeah,
we have the official statement from Department of Homeland Security, but we don't know. There's not really clear video, and there's not really a clear statement yet. And
I will say it seems unnecessary. There were like 7 men around him. They can't get control of one guy.
Well,
Like,
I think that's
I'm a
when you
little
can talk about.
confused.
That's when you can talk about. Well, are these agents properly trained? Are they being rushed into these cities because there's so much going on? I think there's probably a lot of that as well. But you also in the video there's like 2 or 3 guys on him. You know, at a certain point, too many hands are not helpful, right? So there's like 2 or 3 guys on him, but there's like guys standing around him. And that's when the whole controversy comes. It's like, well, this ICE agent goes up and reaches kind of behind him. Does he grab his gun? Does he take the guy's gun? Did he have 2 guns on him? Like, there's all this stuff going on. And what the left is saying is that they took his gun, he's totally innocent, and then they shot him and executed him. And it's like, well, if that's what happened, that's terrible that he was not a threat and they just shot him anyways. But if what the DHS said, and if what some of the video shows as well, is that he reaches for his gun and has a gun on his person and is trying to use it on a federal law enforcement, then yeah, he gets shot. That's what happens. I'm sorry. When you, like, we've made this the same parallel last week. It feels like we talked about the same thing. When you're getting arrested by a police officer and you reach for a gun or a knife on you, sorry, you're going to get shot. That's what happens. Like, so again, if that's not what happened here, that's terrible. And that's sad that he got killed. And apparently he was born in Wisconsin, moved to Minnesota. Everyone says he's like this stand-up guy. He was an ICU nurse.
No, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the real stuff to come out. He's probably
too.
some sex predator. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. It's going to come out just like it did with Renee Good, that he's going to be some terrible person. Oh, actually, he molested someone at work. Yeah, he was a nurse, but he did this. Like,
Genuinely, I'm waiting.
That stuff is never going to see the light of day, though. You know that.
Yeah.
Even if it does come out on Twitter or an offhand report or whatever, it's never going to see the light of day from the media. But Alex Preddy was his name. He was 37 years old. He was an intensive care nurse.
Again, back to our point. What is he doing? How does he have time to just protest on the streets?
And everyone, like, not saying I should have shot him. We don't know. If you have the gun and he's aiming at him, yes, they should have shot him. 100% good. It's the problem right now is it's so early, we don't know. And by the time you guys see this episode, there will probably be a lot more answers, which is good. If he stayed home, if he didn't bring his gun, if he wasn't being aggressive and resisting and doing all these problems, any one of those three things, he's fine. But what does he do? He goes to the protests. He gets involved in the ICE agents. He gets up in their face. He has a gun on him. And it's still unclear if he used the gun or reached for the gun. I get that. But it's like, this stuff is easily avoidable. It's really easily avoidable. And you know what's not so easily avoidable for the ICE agents is dealing with crazy people like this all the time. They have to deal with it all the time. They can't do their jobs. They can't arrest people. No one sees them as the law. No one sees them as actual federal authority. They just see them as these masked right-wingers, crazy racists with guns, you know? And that's part of the problem, too, that the left-wing narrative is pushing, that there's no respect on their end as well. So they can't do their jobs. Their jobs are harder to do. And it just multiplies. It just, oh, well, Renee Good. Oh, well, the 5-year-old gets detained. Oh, well, now they just shot a guy and executed him on the street. And oh, well, and it just sparks and sparks and sparks and has more and more and more. And now finally, reports are saying the National Guard was called in, and you kind of like see their cars and everything pulled up, and the ICE protesters are stopping them. So it's like you have people protesting ICE for getting rid of illegals, but now the situation is so bad that the National Guard was called in, and now they're going to stop the National Guard from trying to help. So it's like, are you against ICE or are you against authority? Are you against ICE or are you against the administration? You know, what are you actually protesting? What are you actually against? So,
do you remember the Obama administration? I bet you do.
I do.
It was a really nice time, wasn't it?
It was the greatest American presidency of our entire lives, right?
Everyone was so happy back then. It was the last time we were genuinely happy.
Yeah.
Do you know what was going on under your nose? I'm in quotes. He was deporting illegal immigrants.
More than Trump.
More than Trump.
Way more than Trump.
Way more than Trump. And the facilities, they were caged like animals. Have you seen the videos? Look up the videos. I would encourage you to.
The children in cages.
The
is where that comes
same thing
from.
that is happening in Minneapolis right now was happening during the Obama administration. And
worse.
The only difference is,
worse.
The only difference is you don't have media outlets like CNN riling you up to make you go out there and make yourself look like a fool and get yourself killed. That is the only difference. The media, social media and media has made this 10 times worse than it ever needed to be.
Let's play a quick reminder here real quick.
Criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to
2014.
enter the US illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
Oh.
I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions
Deport them.
asked.
You said it best,
Get
Hillary.
them out of here.
Not only in the states,
Mrs. Clinton and now Mr. Clinton.
every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our
Aliens. They're aliens.
jobs. Stay home.
This is terrible.
But they're people. They're people. No.
The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by...
Well, my apologies, Mr. and Mrs. Clinton. I didn't know you guys were so based. Record number of border guards. First off, border guards sounds way cooler than ICE agents. Border guards, protecting our
bring that
borders,
back.
deporting, twice the budget, whatever, all that crazy stuff. They're a burden on our tax dollars. They're a burden on our economy, on our people.
Crazy.
All our resources are getting wasted. They're breaking the law. They're committing crimes. Yeah, he's right. She's right. Obama was right. Okay? It's crazy to say that in 2026. Obama said that that's been the precedent for the past half century, for the past 50 years. Well, what was 50 years ago when Obama was running? Oh, the mid 50s, the 60s, when all of the mass immigration problems started occurring, right? When all that started occurring, that's how long we've been doing this. Oh, so since the problem began, it's been the precedent that you should protect your borders, protect your people, and take illegals out.
That right there should show you that you're just being manipulated, okay?
Yep.
By your own party, by your own side, by your own elites that are in office.
Yep.
That right there is crazy.
It shows you the manipulation. It shows you how much the left has switched, how much further the left has gone. It shows the lies being presented to you, right? And then it shows the exaggeration of the right becoming further right. When in reality, Trump's border policy is more liberal, it's less conservative, it's more neutral than Obama's or Clinton's or what Hillary Clinton was thinking of. His is more, it's a tamed down version of that. And that's crazy because what they argue is that the left has stayed where they are and they've become the good guys, that we are the good guys. And then the right has gone crazy far off the end. We're the Nazi SS unit. We're racist. We're evil, you know? Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of a good reminder to go back, look at things that like were not all that long ago. Like we're talking last 15, 20 years.
That wasn't from like 50 years ago.
Right. And it's like, look at how far things have changed. Look at how much you've been pushed and manipulated and lied to. And I mean, history is a good indicator of what happens. And I think reading, seeing, listening, hearing, doing your own research, it would actually help you a lot. And it might actually save your life because from what we've seen from Minneapolis, if you are so crazy and deluded and honest to God, retarded from the media you've been pushed to and lied and you believe it, that you're willing to Renee Good, sacrifice your wife and your kid and your dog and go off and try to drive in an ICE agent, you know? And all these crazy people that are pushing ICE agents, right? Getting involved, getting in their face, not allowing them to do their job. That's what happens. And I think if a lot of people chilled out, did some of their own research, maybe just took a second to think about what's going on, what's happening, what they can actually do, what they would actually accomplish, what the risks are involved, I think a lot more lives would be saved. I think ICE would actually be able to do their job. It would actually be a lot better for this country. So
yeah, don't listen to us. Get off TikTok and stop reposting things just on a whim and look into it. Just, I beg you, like take 30 minutes today and just research outside of TikTok, outside of Instagram.
And bring back border guards, because that is awesome. Border guards deploying to the southern border to protect American citizens and our interests. Yeah. Apparently Clinton was not that bad. I don't know.
Yeah, so, what the heck?
Yeah.
Obama ain't half bad.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in. This was another episode of Propaganda. We would appreciate if you left a positive review. It always helps get the podcast out. And follow us on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube at Propaganda MJ.
Stay tuned for our second episode this week, and we'll see you guys later.